And gentlemen, hello and welcome back again. We're here taking a look at the WCA 2017 Asia Pacific Qualifiers. I'm Lyrical, joined as well by Ryuu. We're going to be taking a look at this game here, Execration, facing off against the lovely RRQ. How you doing, my man?
Good. Feeling a little bit tired.
But you are not having sound come through the speakers. That's not a thing that's going on even.
10 seconds.
What's happening?
Ryuu?
Hello?
You there? Hello?
Seconds remaining.
Hello?
Oh God, I can't hear him at all.
Well,
this has just been a wonderful one. Just the greatest of days. Game coordinator issues, and then a little bit later on, can't hear my co-caster. Not sure what exactly is up. Don't think it's you. Okay. Well,
10 seconds.
you are not muted on here.
5 seconds.
Oh my
remaining.
God! All right, fuck it. We're calling you. Giving you a call.
Turn to pick.
Hello, Ryuu.
hello?
Hey, how's it going?
Hello? Yeah, I just restarted Discord, but we can cast here.
Okay, we'll
I don't
try
know.
it. But how you doing, my man?
I'm
10
good.
seconds
I was saying I was a
remaining.
little bit tired. Kind of just got done watching Game of Thrones
5 seconds.
and eating some ice cream, so I feel like I'm tired because of that. I don't know why.
No spoilerino for sure, though, because that's one of those ones. I don't know if I ever told anybody this, but there was one point when I was at the Manila major qualifiers, and it was the final episode of the last season of Game of Thrones, and it was like the episode wasn't even done. I had to leave to go and cast. And in the middle of the episode premiering, I spoiled the first like 10 minutes of it. And if you guys have seen the first 10 minutes of that last episode, it's pretty ridiculous. To around 30,000 people live, and they were not happy.
Oh. Did you like say it, or is it just streamed?
Oh no, it was streamed. It was streamed
Nice.
to all of those people.
Well, at least they got to at least it wasn't necessarily spoiled in the sense that they got they weren't able to watch it themselves. At least they got to watch some of it.
No, it's
or
true.
listen.
Well, it was good. I don't know. I think that it was not the best moment in my casting career, but
Yeah,
nonetheless, we're here in the next
Just a
game.
blemish.
It's the lower bracket finals, Execration versus RRQ. Winner of this does get a playoff
5
spot.
seconds
There's going to be another grand finals match afterwards, but that one is just to determine ordering once you actually get to WCA. So this is the real kit and caboodle right here, where one of these teams is not going to be making it. And Execration got dropped down by RRQ to the lower bracket just the other day in a pretty big, shocking win. So curious to see how this one goes.
Yeah, we saw last time Witch Doctor kind of owning for the RRQ side, so they decided to ban that out early on, and then Night Stalker was a big part of all the picks last time, but it's not even shown here. So it's going to be interesting to see how these teams have kind of adapted here. And this draft is already looking really good. I like Execration's draft a lot more, I feel, because you get a lot more pick-off potential with Disruptor around the map. He's really good at harassing the puck, and you can always glimpse him back into a Static Storm, which is always nice. And he can't really do much about that. So as long as you time it perfectly, right? So you get the glimpse into the silence. Nyx can just go around hunting. They have Ursa to deal with the Titan lane, so he shouldn't get too much. And that's where the Tide problem can come in. If you get shut down early, it's really hard for him just to go to the jungle and get a lot out of it.
Yeah, and they have heroes too that if
5
Tidehunter
seconds
is sort of stepping out too far afoot, like Earthshaker and Ursa, both of these heroes deal with him
Reserve time.
pretty well, because now you're not even going to be able to go for like the Kraken Shell stuff to take it off. You can't Kraken Shell a hole in a fissure. Like, that's just not going to work.
Yeah, and then also this Enchant Totem it almost always is going to proc your Kraken Shell. It's when he does it, because it's a huge amount of damage coming in, so it's like he can do that, and then he can almost feels like if this Earthshaker is really farmed, he can pretty much get Tidehunter from about 100% to like 30% all by himself if he needs to. So it's hard to even farm against an Earthshaker sometimes in the later stages. So the PA though, maybe that's the X factor they need. Pretty good hero against Ursa because of the evasion. it's a really good hero to get on top of them, and it's a good hero in general for when you get the BKB in this game because of all these stuns. You needed some hero that gets this BKB kind of early on, and then can actually team fight. So that's their thought process. Could be support PA Kappa.
Well, and one of the problems that we do have issues with every now and then is like teams taking high ground. We saw that pretty consistently being an issue for RRQ in their series until the next, I think it was the second to last or the last one where they took a DK, and that ended up being the answer for their high ground siege. But nonetheless, I am curious to see how this TA ends up working out. It's kind of an interesting matchup. Is this going to... It's still going to be the puck mid, which is... We saw a lot of puck off lane before. How do you feel like that matchup works, TA versus puck?
Well, I hope they don't do puck anymore mid. They might have to do what EG did, and they did puck support. Because if they do puck mid, I think TA is just going to crush them. And they banned Lena last instead of TA, which puck can beat Lena in the lane. Puck cannot beat a TA in lane unless you're like a god or something, or Shmail or something. So yeah, they need to change it up. And then either puck support or Tide support. I think Tide support is probably better in this game just because Tide's not going to get anything in the off lane at all, it feels. But having a Tide support over a puck support seems way worse. So there's a lot of weird interactions with RRQ's draft where they had to like back out of a lot of these picks and kind of change it around. That was like their only chance, and I'm not necessarily liking that. But DP is a strong hero. It depends on how she builds. She needs a lot of armor against the TA and the Ursa, and there's just a lot of lockdown. So this is actually a really hard DP game for RRQ. So I love Execration draft a lot more here.
Okay. I will say that RRQ in some ways has solved some of their problems from before. You look at this, and if Tidehunter does get levels, he can maybe secure them a Roshan at a decent time, since you're going to have DP ulti for it. They have ways to take high ground, even if it's on that slow timer of the Death Prophet. But I'm hesitantly optimistic about RRQ. I feel like if they can get away with stuff, it really does feel like it's what you said, going to depend on how much Tidehunter gets out of the lane versus Ursa, and if somehow Koala is going to be able to outplay that. But nonetheless, moving into game number 1. Sorry again for a little bit of the delay. There were some game coordination issues that were sort of slowing us down, but Ryuu, you're feeling like it's going to be the Execration game. What's the biggest thing that you feel like is going to be like their key to success? What is it that they need to accomplish to win this game?
For Execration?
Yeah.
Or okay, I was making sure you said that. I think Execration, they just need a tempo control. I think both, like what you said earlier, it's going to be on both teams securing maybe an early Roche with either their TA and Ursa or the DP as well as the PA. So both teams have that in them, and we're never going to be able to cast ever because they always do this every single game. It's quite annoying, actually, but now that I've experienced it firsthand, when you start casting, and then they just keep spamming it. But that aside, I think Execration, they just need to keep team fighting. Make sure the TA is the one farming constantly. Then once Ursa has his Blink Dagger and Earthshaker, their initiation it should be supreme in this game.
I mean, the other thing to keep in mind here is that you've got basically 4 melee heroes of Execration against like Tidehunter Puck, which is a little bit spooky. And also, if you want to get into like one of the big things that allows you to accelerate your farm as a TA.
Did you want to say something? Find something amusing? I don't understand.
A lot of the things that help you accelerate your farm for TA is those ancient stacks, and it's not like the easiest thing in the world to do with melee heroes with that new camp, the Prowlers. Have you seen that before? Where like
are you talking about? Yeah, if you get double stack with TA, you're kind of screwed in that situation.
Yeah.
And if that happens, you kind of need to maybe have the Earthshaker come over. Or maybe the Nyx, maybe 2 or 3 Impales can maybe help with that or something. But
well, I mean, even stacking it is like can be a little bit tough because you can get rooted sometimes as like a Nyx assassin, since he's going to be the one roaming around more often than not.
Yeah, stacking and then taking them as well. So if you
Yeah.
get a double stack, you pretty much have to go stack the other camp or something, and then hope that that doesn't happen again in the same game.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, smoke breaks. They did scout each other out slightly, it looks like, and, well, we need another break, which means Eta JJ! Where's it at? Man. Monitor problem. You know what? I'm going to let you talk for a second more real quickly, and I'm going to go grab my coffee that I was making, and I'll just let Zephyr crybaby a little bit. So talk to me a little bit about the Raging Potato Earthshaker here. Do you like his opening build that he's got? I always love to see the mangoes sometimes building into the like Soul Ring Tranquils on Earthshaker.
Did he leave? Is he gone? Did he make his coffee?
Get out of here.
Oh, well, I was thinking I could just talk to myself now. I don't want to answer these questions. I want to talk to the audience. How's everybody doing today? No, but in this game, Mango, you're against I don't know. Personally, I like having a Tango and a Salve just because it gives you more regen in the lane. And I think 2 clarities is always needed on Earthshaker just because sometimes you have to fissure at level 1. Sometimes you can get away with Enchant Totem. Maybe this game you can get away with just going Enchant Totem first. But I think you're going to take a lot of harassment in the laning stage. So always having this Salve handy early on so you don't have to go back to base is always nice. But
Oh my God! What are you people doing? Say sorry to me. Or the viewers, more importantly, guys. What's happening?
Hey man, we should just disconnect. Maybe if we disconnect, then they'll play. The curse.
Woo. I do love the sound effects though. Like, got something in the middle. He's got something in the middle of his curry or in the middle of his screen. Maybe he does that thing where you like follow around your hero constantly, like League of Legends. You know what I'm talking about? No?
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention there. I was about to explain to chat that people in chat were saying like how they've been about being triggered by the the constant emotes, spams or whatever they are. But if they keep doing it every single game for like 2 minutes straight in these pauses, they just don't understand the pain.
Yeah. Well, the problem isn't like, because it's slightly annoying if you're playing with a team that's spamming it. It's really annoying if you have to hear both sides of it as a caster, and I guess as any of the viewers as well. Nonetheless, it's going to be fine. Zephyr looking like he is going to head up towards the top lane. So the Tide Puck duel off lane, not often seen, but could be is any kind of good? Like, what's the upside of this? You just sort of give your Tide a little bit more support since it's already going to be a hard lane versus the Ursa?
Yeah, you have to normally do dual lanes when you're against an Ursa in this situation. At least try to harass them and then get whatever you can. So this is their best bet, at least getting some levels on maybe both of them. And then starting Gush level 1. This is probably for the best too, because at least they can harass them more. If you have Anchor Smash, you normally want to have Anchor Smash for CSing in the lane and maybe trading, but you're not necessarily going to need to trade because you already have that Puck trading for you.
Right. They're still going to do a lot of damage here. Kinetic Field Laydown. They will have an Impale as well. Able to dodge it. Koala. The quick fingers and able to back out. Nando messes up the pathing.
Yep, that should have been 100% dead. And these are the things that can hurt you in the lane phase. When you don't get these assured kills, and then that might get the Puck to level 2, where he's going to have his phase shift so he can't die. Also playing very... But the thing is, Ursa's still always going to be susceptible to kills in this lane. There's no way for him to really get more survivable.
Yeah. That was a pretty sick play down there as well. Mr. Rubik getting himself the deny on the Earthshaker. Rage Potatoes wanted it so badly and was not having any of it. But the other thing that's nice about this is that it doesn't feel like there's a lot of kill potential early on for RRQ against Nando, maybe as the levels start to ramp up a little bit. But this does mean that Execration can head off to the side, pick up the other bounty runes, and maybe play a little bit more greedy on their supports.
Yeah, the supports Curious to see how the rotations are going to be. If Nyx had got that haste rune, maybe he could have killed top.
Yeah.
But unfortunately for him, it was stolen. But now they're going on the top lane.
Oh, this is
Ursa.
dangerous. Nando maybe going to go down Fairy Fire. He did the calculations. Ends up being able to get away, but the counter kill comes out as well. So first blood going into the favor of RR, and it's the second one as well. Ritual Disruptor.
It's always nice when you're playing support and you get these kills early, man. Because you know you're going to have to buy all the stuff. And then in this situation, you're like, yes, I get boots. Able to do stuff. This Gush, man. You don't want to deal with it. The best thing about the Gush, too, is the lasting duration here for 4 seconds. Normally, if it's anything like maybe 2 seconds or something, then you're going to be able to get on top of the tide easier. But with the duration, they're able to easily just run away or even wail on the Ursa a lot. So I like this so far, this laning stage from them.
Yeah. Something we didn't talk about too much is the True Strike that you gain from Enchant Totem now. So that's another nice little bit of damage potential towards the PA. It's kind of a counter in a way. If not the best in the world, it at least allows him to trade more effectively than you would be able to otherwise.
Yeah, normally you only need to leave your fissure at level 2 so that you can combo from far away or whatever. So that means that you're going to have about, at level 12, 13, you're going to have max Enchant Totem. So that's going to be where you're doing most of your damage as an Earthshaker too, when you have your Blink, and then you can get on top of PA pretty easy. So like you said, the burst is there, and then now the 4-minute runes are going to be spawning here. Let's see who gets what.
Yeah,
and then,
I mean, they're going to get the little wraparound and see that he's not able to get it. No mana burn and not enough levels yet from Nyx Assassin to really be able to threaten Zephyr there, but double bounty runes for them, and then also being able to trade them off to the side here. And large Execration gain a decent amount of those.
But meanwhile in the mid lane, we haven't talked too much about this matchup yet this game. It's since there's been a lot of action. Top, still action.
Well,
top
actually,
side, yeah.
He's dead. That'll happen.
He's dead. It's what's supposed to happen to a Tide Hunter against the Ursa lane. It's just the inevitable. And you kind of have to go to the lane too. You can't really go to the jungle, like I said. If you go to the jungle, it takes so long to farm because of the EXP and gold nerf.
Right.
But what James is doing is he's not necessarily getting the most levels in the mid because he's going back to stack. But he's got the stack already up to, it's going to be hopefully 3 here if he doesn't mess up.
Yeah.
And then the problem now is DP has ulti, can run at you. The CS is pretty even in the mid lane besides the denies. So at least TA is not doing too bad in that regard.
Yeah, she's having herself a decent time. Level-wise, that's sort of the difference maker is that DP is already at level 6, whereas TA is still stuck at level 5 there. Also, we saw that Earthshaker was able to get himself a decent amount of stacks over here on the hard camp, too. So things going well in terms of the economy game.
Just got his boots delivered for the TA, else that would have been a dead one. Dead James. But now they're going to pressure the mid tower here, and this is where it's going to get interesting. See who's going to rotate.
Well, you can pop ulti here if you want to. And there it comes. James having to deal with this. A lot of damage already out with the Spirit Siphon. He just might end up going down here. I don't think there's any way to play himself out of it. And how is DP just running at him?
Well, it's agreed. One thing, you're like, oh, I got all these creeps. I need to hit them. And two, the support rotations from... They didn't have TPs on Disruptor or Nyx. They should have known that was coming. Once you know DP's level 6, she's just going to run at you. And... just not playing far enough back. If James was 6 there, he could have set a trap and easily ran away, but not having the traps is just free tower almost here. Well, really unfortunate situation. I guess, like you said, the greed coming back to haunt him a little bit. It's only the tower brought down almost to death, but not completely. I have a feeling they're going to fully commit to this time around. Maybe not, though. It might be a little bit too scary to go into the Disruptor with Earthshaker being off the map as well. Yeah, especially when TA did get his level there, or 6 there, and they used a lot of Spirit Siphons already too. You have to realize that this is a rechargeable thing. It has 2, but it was at 1, and then you can't really survive sometimes if there are 3 heroes on you if you don't have 2 or 3 Spirit Siphons on the DP. Yeah, the nice part here is they are going to be able to find Raging Potato off in the jungle. Don't know if they quite spotted out that stack is there.
But nonetheless, now they're going to be able to pressure both of these towers simultaneously, I would imagine, if they wanted to head back towards mid with the Death Prophet, or at least come back after the fact. So big movement in. Earthshaker's there to try and break things up, but all these heroes have avenues to get over a fissure.
Yep. Earthshaker, talking about him, he's level 5. It's not necessarily the best start in the world for him, considering he was against the dual lane. Maybe he should have a little bit more out of it, but he's 0 and 1. Hasn't done too bad. He's also stacked himself nicely up here for this camp here. So if he does clear this by himself, nobody's around. Well, speaking of which, the tide's dying. That's normal, guys. Don't worry about it. He should get his level 6 here on ES. Meanwhile, RR.
Yeah, he's in trouble as well, and it's going to get ran down. A good impale, but it should not be enough to keep him alive, I don't imagine. The right click's coming through. There's going to be the kill, and well, unfortunately, no way to really stop that one. TA gets an Arcane Rune. We also didn't talk about it, but they got the D ward on the Ancients here, so that way they can continue to build up this stack, and there won't be any maintained division over it either.
Here comes the DP ulti again. This should be... They would need to commit like 3 or 4 heroes if they want to kill this DP off.
God, James is playing it so greedy as well, stepping up to see if he can even come and contest that. Now, the unfortunate part also for our RRQ is that they don't really have a way to steal this stack from the TA. Tidehunter is 3 points up in Kraken Shell, but it's really not as good as it used to be with the changes to the Ancient Creeps. It ends up taking it really slow. You'd have to probably like commit a DP ulti with it as well.
Well, they got the stun on the TA bottom, but nothing should come out of this. They have to be a little bit careful too. If PA gets 1 or 2 crits from his dagger, it could be the death of the Earthshaker. So very careful. He did opt for the treads here, this will make you a lot tankier, and then you can farm a little bit faster too. Sometimes it's good. Ooh, there's that crit. I'm just waiting to see.
It's still dangerous though, like Echo Slam up and everything else. It's spooky. Spooky. Maybe with this rotation from Rubik, though, they could do something.
Yeah, they could bait out the Echo Slam, too. If they bait out the Echo, where it's useless because the lift.
Oh. Raging Potato, he wants it really bad. The Impale is there as well, but with a cell in the area, that's going to keep the PA safe.
And this is kind of like why I like phase over treads a lot of the time in certain situations, right? You have PA who has phase of her own, and it's really hard to get close to her because she's just going to use her dagger, and you're not going to be able to normally get close enough to use your Echo Slam. Whereas if you have phase boots, you come out from the trees there, bam, maybe you have a better chance. So, but it's a give and take. Now he's tankier because of the treads and whatnot. So, alright, top lane. Are we going to have a rotation here eventually? Puck just got level 6. Oh, speaking of Puck, this is an interesting build. Super greedy in the sense where he's like all-out damage.
This is a scouted out smoke gank as well, though. Nando is over here to the side. He has a blink dagger. Can't make the jump away, but yeah, with level 6 on Tide, I still wouldn't mind them going in to try and secure like an early Roche themselves with DP ulti. Like, being able to take that away from an Ursa can be so effective, and it's hard for them to really fight into a Tidehunter with Ravage.
Yeah, they might feel they're not tanky enough. They also have TA traps. The TA didn't put a trap in there yet, but normally there would be one in there, so scouting it out is pretty easy for Execration.
Yeah.
I think it's a good move. I would have liked to see Nando TP bottom lane. He's wasted about a minute of his time just doing nothing here.
Yeah.
Oh, mid lane. Are they going to echo? Yes, they will.
Trying to drop him down, see if they can get the kill. The damage, it's not quite there. And in fact, Illogic decides to go back in on the Raging Potato. A little bit crazy, and they have Fissure back up again in 4 seconds. But yeah, the Exorcism committed for this one. They still need to be careful as Raging Potato's going to get scouted out here by the Puck, and they might try and combo this together while the fight is still having the potential to go up in the top lane. Earthshaker coming all the way back home for this one, and with the wraparound from Ursa, this is about to be a done Exorcism. A good lift. The average comes out as well. They're able to pull back one, and DP is going to end up dying. Meanwhile, the great block off of the Fissure, Koala, going to be brought down as well. So RRQ making a couple of strange moves there, and they get the tower down to pretty low, but definitely not worth.
Yeah, that's the problem when you play against Disruptor. You try to get out, and if you don't get out as 5 and you just go TP to the mid lane, that's the go time. And because Nando didn't TP earlier, and he waited about a minute and a half or so, that was able to set up for that double kill there. So at the end of the day, it's kind of good, but it's also bad because they're not making space, right? They haven't gotten a single tower yet for Execration. They did get 2 kills, but they need to do something while these ultis are on cooldown now. Tide Ravage is down, DP ulti's down. What can you do in this allotted time? Probably nothing right now.
I mean, if RRQ get a tower while they are with these ultis down, like, it is so much value. Pretty ridiculous that, like you said, with this big timing window, they're not able to get anything done. And, well, the lift back trying to keep this Ursa alive. Is Nando going to end up dying here? He's taking a couple more shots. There's the enrage to keep him alive, but they're playing it pretty fast and loose and not really, like you said, getting much done.
Yeah, it's kind of the situation because of the score is 4-6, but they just, because of the mid lane, because DP had such a dominant performance, because they didn't really send help fast enough to secure the tower, not getting to low HP, and then just them finishing it off easier. This just opens up the map completely for RRQ for the last 5 minutes. And well, a good news is the Earthshaker is closing in on his Blink Dagger, so they will have that to help them out eventually, unless he dies.
I mean, this is the thing that also they are going to go on Raging Potato right now. Unfortunately, not enough crits to be able to secure the kill, but it does feel like there's kind of this weird timing with their heroes, where you have an Ursa that wants to get involved early and often, and he looks like he's going to be heading in towards the Roche pit, maybe, or possibly going on to DP mid. They're going to try and bring her down. Spirit Siphon is there. Wand charges are available as well. And Abu trying to get away. They don't actually feel comfortable fully committing for this one. And Leemic doesn't end up getting off the spike carapace to try and break it. In fact, he ends up getting stunned on the backside of it now. Nando going in deep, wants to kill off this tower, but might just end up dying before it happens. And so the Vendetta not used effectively.
I'm trying to wonder if the Disruptor had his ulti on cooldown. I honestly clicked on him after the fact, but I think his ulti was up. Or it might have been 1 or 2 seconds, so I can't really call him out. But not using your ulti on the DP there, you needed that extra burst damage plus just the extra damage and control there. That was kind of weird for the Disruptor.
Well, and that's the thing that I mean, that's sort of less of what I was talking about, but it's definitely a big problem. But the thing I was wondering is, like, you have the Hand of Midas picked up for Nyx Assassin here, and I'm kind of wondering, like, what he's going to bring to the table. Granted, it's a great hero to get it on. You love the levels and all that other stuff, but this lineup from RRQ feels very greedy. You have 4 big core heroes and then a position 5 Rubik that actually scales really well into the late game as well. I'm wondering, like, can they really take it later? Is that not going to be as effective?
Yeah, that's the problem. They're playing maybe a little bit too greedy. They have to make sure that they win these team fights too with the Midas pickup. Else he could have went for a Blink Dagger, and then he could have set up a lot of the team fights. So this better help him in the long run. And sure, once you get that Ags on Nyx, you're gonna feel invincible, but you have to make sure you actually get there. Meanwhile, they do get the kill on the Puck, and they're gonna get the kill on the PA here.
All right, that's big. They needed that one in a big way. I was just like zoning out for a moment thinking about Nyx Assassin Midases, but he ends up finding the kills even with that. So all is well in the world for Execration for the moment. It looks like you're not going to be going back for any of those other farming any diamonds for Ursa. It's just going straight into the Basher and maybe even into the Abyssal later. We'll have to see.
Another interesting pickup that we didn't talk about earlier. Oh, well, maybe I'll hold this a little bit, is the Puck going for the Arcane Boots. Normally you want to go Treads just so you're able to hit more accurately. You can Strength Treads it for more HP, but maybe the mana, you just want the pressure a little bit. Meanwhile, Roche is going on, converging here. Yeah,
they have Static Storm off on cooldown, so no way to really make this work. Koala, he's already brought down very low. Nando has popped his ulti, jumps into the middle with the Echo Slam, comes down as well. Oh, RRQ pushed that one far too quickly, and now they're going to pay the price. Losing 3, and, well, a glimpse back into another one. Zephyr has to get the orb away, but it's going to be Roshan going to Execration, and man, the tables have turned rather rapidly.
Man, that was super greedy. Do you mind if I call you? Let's try Discord, because sometimes you keep cutting out.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's go real quick.
Hello? Ryu?
Hello?
Are you there?
Can you hear me?
This has been a problem where
Hello?
they can hear you, but I can't. Apparently, was part of the problem. So let me see if I can figure that out. Nope, can't.
Hello?
We're calling you
Hello?
back on that. Sorry,
All
buddy.
It's because you cut off sometimes, so it's kind of annoying. Meanwhile, bottom lane, this is almost gonna be the death of Tide. Sticks around. It's not gonna go for it. Not greedy enough. But that last team fight, they were so greedy. Why didn't they just wait for the PA? They could have just waited, had all their members around the pit. Instead, they were like, let's go in. And that's the thing, right? All TA has to do is set a trap in Roche from the 6-minute mark or some, and then trying to sneak a Roche is almost impossible.
Yeah. Well, and now you're sitting pretty far back. Oh, Logic, go to the blink strike forward into the area to farm aggressively, and now maybe going to be punished as well. They end up finding him, and Pale comes through as well. They don't have any way to save a Logic here unless he gets the blink strike away. Still more damage coming out from the urn, but he is going to be able to survive through it and playing it right on the edge there. Now with 2 caught in the Dream Coil, RR contained as well. Execration, we got baited into that one. Uh-oh.
Oh, the Basher.
Yeah, this is a problem, though. You got a big bad bear running at you, and Zephyr barely able to get out for the moment, but Raging Potato's still on his trail, as well as the Rubik being ran down, and it looks like Execration will be the ones to try and secure down this Tier 1 tower.
I like that pun there, man. He barely got out of there.
Hey.
Well, this guy didn't barely get out of there.
Well, it's because there wasn't a bear chasing him. That's the reason.
Oh.
Nicely done, taking on the Aegis as well.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
And we'll see if Zephyr is going to be able to make his full retreat away. Can go for the phase shift, but caught now by the fissure, and James, pretty large and in charge, to take that kill.
Now you just see how powerful PA is against Ursa if you get a lot of those misses, which you should, because the evasion's pretty high. Meanwhile, Tide off on his own farming, has mech, but Ursa don't care about no Tide hunting, that's for sure.
They're just falling apart right now. It feels like ever since that Roche fight, RRQ have not been moving together as a team. They're sort of all running around the map trying to get their farm and maybe make little plays here and there, but it's not together.
Yeah, they kind of need to split up the map, but at the same time, they should still try to be making plays together. They have the Tide Ravage, they have the DP ulti. They need to make space for their PA. PA should probably be farming. Maybe the PA could come with them in a smoke gank, but right now they need to either smoke as 4, leave PA farm his BKB, or just go all 5 and just hope that you can catch somebody off guard, because right now they're just getting picked apart, like you said.
Yeah. Well, 7-16. It's around a 7,000 net worth lead, 10,000 experience, and they will find Lemic, be able to pull him back in. And that was pretty well done. Also, Vendetta stolen. Not a bad one for Rubik.
Yeah, time to go scouting. Oh, Shadowblade already picked up on the Earthshaker, and
oh man, this would be really big if he could manage to get it. They need everybody here to be able to have the follow-up damage, and if they can blow up the DP, there it is, Enchant Totem with a fissure. It's not going to be there because the Ravage came out in time to break him down. A DP, Eul Scepter keeping her alive for the moment. The stick charges as well. They need to kill her off. Nando barely able to get that kill before he goes down, and that might just save them any other objectives after the Tier 2. Maybe even the Tier 2 if they can somehow get back up.
So now you see the problem, right? Earthshaker can't go onto the Tide because he's going to pop Ravage, and they don't have the BKBs up on TA and Ursa. Now they're going to be coming back in. They want to defend this. TA needs to be careful. Nice stun.
Well, there's the lift up. Logic not going to be able to turn this back around, and with the Vendetta coming out, Rubik is off cooldown in just a couple of seconds, but ends up getting blown up before it can happen. And now the rest of Execration still looking to see if they can chase anybody, but it's not happening.
So there's a lot of problems now you can see for Execration. They need to get either the Bloodthorn up on the TA eventually, or the MKB for this PA, because they don't have any way to really kill her off. It feels like she's gonna be large and in charge in these team fights. And then they also need to find a way to get BKBs foremost. because they have to move freely in these team fights. They have to blow up the DP in these team fights, the Ursa as well as the TA or somebody. Because if they don't, then we're just going to see repeats in these team fights of what just happened. They use every single thing on DP, but then that means that the PA is just going to go to town.
Right. And it's going to not become particularly easy as Ursa is moving in here. They drop the Sentry Ward and able to take him out immediately. Leemic also in trouble, gets caught there. The Tether Snap Stun comes out, and well, with the Force Staff away, that's only going to reveal that Nyx Assassin's still in the area. Quick blow up for him. 2 dead, and well, they just go back and forth with these teams. Suddenly you think that one's on top, and they end up turning it completely back around. But the thing I was going to mention is that Ursa in this game, like even if you have BKB, it feels like you're probably going to need Aghanims also to deal with the damage that's coming out from DP ulti if he gets sort of isolated.
Yeah, you need either the Ghost Scepter for that, or you need a lot of just get 5. What are those called again? I forgot now. I'm so bad at casting. Do I even the plate mail?
Yeah,
I didn't need to look it up. I just had a 3-second brain fart.
That happens.
But get 5 of those plate mails, that's 50 armor. You're not. Those ghosts aren't even going to touch you. Actually, they probably still would. Kind of curious. I kind of want to go into a private lobby now and see how much damage that does.
Yeah. Well, Halberd is the item, and another great answer to either TA or Ursa. Nothing really to deal with that in this game. I don't believe that Aghs, Ursa, or that Enrage takes it off, right?
I don't believe so.
Yeah.
But that is definitely a good interaction that I can maybe go check out later too, or Twitch check and let us know, or you just tweet at us. I would say no if I was a betting man.
All right. Another DP ulti used, and they will be able to spot out that this Halberd is completed now as well, realizing that it's going to be quite hard to deal with. Impale connects, jump forward, tons of damage, just gets blown the hell up, but also the Ravage turnaround, and now with the Rubik already dead, there's not a great way to turn around the Static Storm. Logic, the BKB trying to deal the damage they need to, but it's already going to be the other 2 main damage dealers dead for the Radiant, and just trying to escape at this point in time. The Fissure going to connect, can he get out? No, the Jaunt is not going to be there, and the PA going to go down as well. The sole survivor, that Tidehunter, and if they were maybe a little bit earlier with that Ravage, you can possibly turn it around, but there's just too much damage too quickly.
Yeah, they need to save their DP, man. That, like, if they can just find a way to ensure DP survival, either with Glimmer Capes or just maybe, like you said, I think the mech might have not came out in time. They need to get closer. They need to have a Blink Dagger maybe on the Tide. You can see he is queuing that up now, so that they can immediately get in there, because they didn't have any BKBs on Execration before that team fight, and they should have not won that, or shouldn't have been able to kill the DP like they did.
Yeah.
So that was a really good fight for Execration, and it's only going to get better depending on how the initiation. So far in this game, it feels like whoever's getting the better initiation is going to win this game, or is just going to keep, getting a little bit further and further ahead. So that's the nice thing, right? Both teams are still relatively even though there's a 7K gold lead on Execration.
Right. Well, and it shows that Execration, they've been the ones that have been better farming around the map, but at times RRQ the ones who have been able to outplay them in these team fights. And the way that we see this maybe going forward as well, Tidehunter ended up picking up a Talisman of Evasion. Is he going to be going back for a Sange as well, do you think? Or does this maybe like into a Solar Crest possibly?
For the Tide?
Yeah.
Yeah, they still need a Solar Crest on their team. I mean, putting the Solar Crest on the DP would be really nice in that last team fight. Especially when the Ursa and the TA both jump on them. So that gives you even more evasion. Right now, yeah, DP needs an armor item or Ghost Scepter or BKB. She's kind of in a weird position because they have a lot of stuns on the enemy team, but she also needs more armor. Having only 6 is not enough.
Big initiation here, potentially. They have the Static Storm already down, and that is going to be the Puck dead. The Echo Slam as well. Onto a couple. They end up stealing it, though. Not bad at all. Trying to turn this back around now, and the BKB came out from James in time to save him from the Ravage. But still, they might be in trouble if they try and dive too deep for this one. The DP ulti's still going. Nando slowed down so much. That gush move speed. So freaking slow. And, well, James also going to be disarmed for the moment. They're able to make this work for themselves, or they can at least not all go down. And Lemic maybe going to end up losing his own life just by virtue of those little ghosts bouncing around.
That was almost a Kappa Nyx play. Well,
Regeneration.
pretty good all around for Execration, managing to win a team fight without having to kill the DP first. And they just kind of waited out the BKBs, and then they initiated again with the Disruptor Glimpse. And you can just see the power there of Disruptor, even though Disruptor might not feel that strong early on in the team fights with the Static Storm. If you do pop it on like a BKB target, but later his Glimpse is gonna reign king. So that last team fight, they're gonna pick up Roche. What else are they gonna get out of this? They got the cheese, and then Ursa, not really close to the next item, TA either, but they're gonna probably farm and then probably take some objective on this map. Probably try to clear out the rest of these tier 2s.
Yeah.
Yes.
It seems like a reasonable way to do it. And I also feel like it's still something where RRQ has a very strong late game if they can get there, particularly like Puck getting levels and eventually getting to that level 25 if they can manage to do that. But this lineup from Execration, it's like really hitting its stride now, and particularly with Abyssal Blade going to be done on Nando, they're going to need the rest of these heroes to pull up the slack and make sure that they can cover each other. And DP, you keep getting blown up in the fights, or if you lose one of those other main damage dealers, it's going to be a tough fight for them.
I don't know about this PA build that I'm looking at right now. Scotty is kind of nice when you're trying to kite around either the TA or trying to stick on somebody, as well as the Ursa, but when I think you might need to have at least a Basher before you go this item. Having a Basher always on PA is just, it seems the most reliable, right? You can get the procs coming in from your dagger, you're going to blink in, you're already getting this bonus attack speed. So not going for this item that can lock down the enemy during team fights, or just when you're man fighting them, it might be a mistake.
Oh, well, that Jet just need to back out again. I mean, the plus side of it for him is that, like you said, it gives more slows. We've seen that be pretty effective against Ursa in that last one, or it also is going to be able to give a little bit more HP, maybe to deal with like some of the magic damage that's coming out. But definitely is not the normal build that we would see. And Raging Potato in their sights, I believe that they did have vision of him, so they're going to try and blow up the Earthshaker right at the start of this one, and just gone in an instant. That's a pretty good start to this game, and now James also going to get ran at. They have Nando in the air for counter initiation, but without the Earthshaker, it feels like this might be a little bit too scary. Looking, still trying to find him. Nando is off to the side there. Zephyr might be able to quite catch up with them, and now they do have vision, forcing out the BKB, but with no way to break that. Still pretty good for a charge. Basically only a smoke committed.
Yeah, and then now they're just going to go split push somewhere else. They've already taken the tier 2 top, so they can't really do much here for RRQ.
James, he's getting gone on, getting caught by a couple crits. They are going to have some vision in the area again and been able to catch up to him for the moment. They're going to have another blink strike if they want. Dust is there. He's in trouble. James going to end up going down. That's the Aegis, and nobody else is here to really help him out. They do have Disruptor that's coming in from far away, but I think that James is maybe going to end up dying here. It's a pop in the BKB after the fact.
Yeah, maybe a little bit too greedy there, trying to stick around for a long time. PA just blinking on him. Surprisingly enough, if he had just TP'd, I think it might have been on cooldown though. So I don't know if when he was farming mid, if it was on CD, else he could have just maybe just TP'd, would have been fine. But he didn't know where maybe the Rubik was or where people were.
Yeah.
Like we saw the Ursa earlier, he just BKB TP. It's a safer play.
Well, now standing up here on high ground, the Earthshaker moving in from behind enemy lines. This could be a big play if they can catch up to him, but Ravage already popped onto 3. The Dream Coil as well. That's a hell of a lot of damage. They end up getting the jump in from the Earthshaker, but it feels like it's far too late at this point. DP is going to be able to get the Yule Scepter off. They buy back by the TA, don't get the stick charges off to keep the DP alive. So they force a couple of buybacks, and now, well done by that Rubik to make sure he gets out as well. Gonna TP away. A Logic also most likely gonna try and jump out of here, but well, nobody actually to blink strike to. He's in trouble. The misses are there, but Raging Potato will be able to find that fissure, and that's gonna be the death of him.
A loss so so small, the world will hardly notice.
So that was a really good all-around team fight coming in from RRQ. After all those BKBs came out, as long as ES didn't get caught in that ultimate, it seems like they were able to turn around quite nicely. And I like how Raging Potato just initiated immediately on the DP. If they didn't kill off that DP immediately, could have been very bad for them. So another play that they kind of need to go for now is somebody needs to get a defusal. Oh, meanwhile mid.
Yeah, that's going to be a death Rubik. And most likely also going to be the Tidehunter. This is a buyback. They needed to force something out here and try and get a response, but I don't know if it's actually going to end up happening.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower has fallen.
That's still pretty bad for them. Like, if they could have gotten a different buyback out, but TA with no buyback now for the next couple minutes, this is one of those scary moments.
Yeah, they did lose the gem though. So map control should go over to the way of Execration now with having the gem. I don't know if they have any wards to place right now. It looks like they don't. They have one on the map, but other than that, they're kind of playing a little bit blind. They do need to be careful not to get caught by another Blink Ravage. And like you said, if TA gets picked off, that could be game. They need his damage in these team fights because until they get the MKBs on the Ursa and the TA, you can't afford to lose either of them. Right. If you don't have either of them up, you're gonna immediately lose the team fight because you don't have enough burst damage. And then another thing
Raging Potato.
Oh yeah.
They baited that pretty well.
They also had that ward there too, you know, like I said. So now they instantly smoke up. They want to go somewhere.
And mid looks to be the call. They have Ravage again. Blink Dagger on cooldown, and Zephyr trying to chase, but they won't quite get into range. James, it looks like. But back down mid again. If they wanted to run this, it's definitely something that's proven to be working. And if they could force out an Earthshaker buyback.
Yeah, Earthshaker was the hero kind of like in the last team fight. So now, without their big team fight controller, let's see how they approach this. If they're going to buy back, if they commit hard, or what they want to do.
We also have on the Courier the full Halberd completed for Tidehunter, so they're going to have 2 Halberds now in this game. Logic ends up getting caught there by the Glimpse, but again, this is going to be the tower dropping and not a great way to stop it. They still have Static Storm, and the Impale's going to be there as well as the 4-step forward. Static Storm is down onto 3. It was a really good play there, but still no way to be able to keep that DP alive. And now they pull back into Logic as well. He's going to be in a little bit of trouble. The Ravage is going to connect, but you already are going to end up losing your PA. Really odd decisions here by RRQ, and now they're being punished heavily. And if they're not able to get out with a couple more of these heroes, I think that they're going to have to buy back on a few of them just to keep their barracks alive. Koala in trouble, going to be brought down. No TP available for him. Yeah, that was real bad.
Man, it just feels so bad when you play Tide and you're against these 2 heavy hitters in the cores and they just pop BKBs and you're just sitting there and you're like, I literally can't do anything, guys. I'm sorry. I can't help you. It's just nothing I can do. And then, like you said, now they're going to have to march down middle. At least DP will be up in 20 seconds. They probably will have to buy back on PA here. BKBs are still down, though. But Ursa, yeah, Ursa's is coming back up soon. They have the cheese to work with. And an MKB.
No.
This is nice.
Do you see that TA also went for the -8 meld armor reduction instead of the refraction charges?
Yeah, it's pretty good this game. It's normally a lot of people have been straying away from the instances. Even though it makes you survive more, the damage output increase because of the melt strike is a lot more value because you basically get a free Desolator. You can replace the Desolator later if you want to for another hard-hitting item. So the logic is there for going for the more damage burst build than sometimes trying to stay alive. That's kind of like what PA wants or TA wants to do.
Yeah.
You kind of want to get in there. You want to try to take them down within 4 or 5 seconds. Else, they're just going to turn on you because normally you're not going to be able to be survivable. It's a later game in the stages. There's abyssals and whatnot. And so in this game, though, I wanted to mention earlier that Diffusal Blade is a very strong item, especially against these Yules that are on RRQ side. So if TA or the Ursa can get that, then they can counter these Yule's plays pretty easily and then kill them off. But I don't think any of them are going to go... Oh, actually, Earthshaker got one.
Earthshaker ended up going back for one.
Yeah, this is a really good item, this game.
He's trying to look right now. Oh, again, gets caught by the phase shift. It pops the BKB. Oh, Regum Potato. What a guy.
And that's just a support puck, too. He's like, I want this support puck.
And now they don't have Echo Slam. This is really bad. And they're going to be able to come and contest Roshan.
Courier, though. It's nice knowing you in this world.
Although Regum Potato is staying underneath a ward right now. Sentry ward, rather. They pop that Exorcism going forward. And yeah, that Aghanim Scepter ulti from Disruptor means that they're all going to be stuck in there. Qual drops the Ravage, but a little bit late, and maybe now they can take down TA. This would be a huge pickup. They aren't quite there, but now they got him. Nando also in trouble. In Rage, no, the cheese is going to be there to keep him alive, but still the damage is coming out. There's going to be the turn. They find the kill. Big one indeed. That MKB making all the difference in the world, and Puck now also likely to go down. Man, that was huge. And now they can go in, take down Roshan. Oh, this looks like it could be the end of the game, potentially.
Yeah, RR pretty much carrying them that team fight, which you said, the Ags, man. Huge plays. And that should be another set of racks, maybe? I don't know. There might not be enough time. The lanes are pushed. Actually, they can just walk down mid here if they really want to. Their Shrine is on cooldown, though, so they're pretty low. They might just, yeah. It's kind of risky to do that play, but still, they got what they came for. Also, the cheese that was left over from Ursa, pretty much crushing the DP afterwards. Everything just going Execration's way right now.
And we thought the Raging Potato made a bad play. He baited them into going for Roche. That's what it was. And I think I just
don't know how Disruptor got a two-man ulti off without them being able, with them both not getting out of the circle, right? Normally, you're going to be fast enough to get in there, and I don't know if anybody was stunned. And normally, you have to set it with the Earthshaker Fissure or something, so then you can drop that Static Storm on top of something. But he got both the PA and the Tide in that without having any stuns, it feels like. I'm not sure where the Nyx was.
I think that part of it also was that they weren't expecting the Aghanim Scepter, and so PA was probably expecting she could BKB and head out of there.
That's probably the best point I've heard all night. Smart man.
Well, I think
my BKB not working. Help.
Yeah, it's not the best situation for sure. And you just look at the net worth difference right now, 26,000 into the favor of Execration, and I mean, it's just they're so far behind at this point. And that's like without really having to commit any buybacks either. Like, they didn't use any of their buybacks, whereas you saw a couple of them from Execration, but even still, they've just been farming so much more effectively around the map, and it's been this 5-man group up thing from RRQ that just hasn't worked out for them.
Yeah, both teams are kind of like running at each other when their cooldowns are off. You saw that earlier, like Tide Ravage down. They go Execration try to go. Earthshaker ulti now down. They try to go. And then, so both teams are utilizing the cooldowns very effectively, but maybe they're just getting, both teams are getting still caught off guard by positioning still. So that's the fun part about Dota. You try to, you understand the power curves in Dota, but then all of a sudden you're just, that was so close. I was getting scared too.
I was wondering, like, is Raging Potato going to do it again? Absolute madman. The third missed Echo Slam on Puck, but doesn't look like it. So instead, they're going to be trying to go for the slow siege slightly, at least, and start to tear down this tower. It's not an easy lineup to go high ground against, though. Oh.
Especially when they don't have the Aegis on the TA. Ursa is not that strong at dealing damage to these towers. So TA is going to have to put her body on the line, or they're going to have to dive.
Yeah.
So another play that they could do is they could dive with 3 or 4 heroes.
Oh my god. Well, or they could just kill them all, and that's going to be the start of it at the very least. Tidehunter out for 70 seconds. No damage potential, really, or control to follow, and now if they're not careful, mana burn as well. It's so frustrating to deal with. They're able to jump in. The big old Echo takes him down. He missed a couple. He hits it when it counts, though, and Execration looking to finish off this game in style. taken down RRQ after RRQ dropped in the lower bracket just a little while ago. Well, maybe the Disruptor going to end up dying here. They have the Scotty done. Oh my god, the damage from James. Just going to get one shot there. And oh, Hurricane Pike coming back in as well. Nando knows what he wants, though. It's time to take down these towers. Another jump forward, and PA going to be gone.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
GG gets called.
That's a pretty good game. Good game all around. Even though it kind of got one-sided towards maybe the last 15 minutes of the game, it was still close, and it felt like either team could still win it at most instances. Imagine if Disruptor didn't rush an Ags basically after drums, like what the fights would have looked like after that last one because of the missed Echo Slams. But hey man, kudos to Execration playing a little bit better. I want to say both teams had a lot of kind of like highlights in this game, but I think the biggest downfall to RRQ is just not securing their DP, securing the defensive DP, having her die when her ulti was up like 2 times in 2 team fights back to back, especially before Execration got their big power curve where they get the 2 BKBs on Ursa and TA. They had a really good chance having the DP on the front lines before then, but it just wasn't enough. They weren't able to keep DP alive, it felt like, and then that's just where everything went downhill.
Yeah, I can imagine like if this game had a Dazzle or an Oracle in it, and then suddenly you have 2 different, like if you think about the way that the fights would have had to play out, you would have 2 different areas that you had to hit. Whereas with this one, you only have to go after the DP. Whereas if there was one of those other heroes, then you have to at least commit some of your resources off to that second supporting cast that can save them. Whereas in this instance, if you took down the DP when they're sieging high ground, it was just over. Like that's all that ended up happening. So we're going to go into game number 2 now. We'll see if we can sort out some of those audio issues that were plaguing us earlier. Stick around, everybody. More from the WCA Asia Pacific qualifiers in just a few. Lyrical and Ryuu. Be back in a bit.